Hello and welcome back to Resident Evil Deep Dive, the series where I'm exploring as much Resident Evil as I can every single day of October. Today we're looking at another interesting entry into the franchise, Resident Evil: The DARKSIDE Chronicles. Let's get started. Now, for a bit of context, I, as you may expect, am a huge arcade fan. I worked at a laser tag arena for a while that used to give you free play as an employee perk, and you better bet that I used the absolute hell out of that. And in this arcade was one of my favorite arcade cabinets, Dead Storm Pirates. This long-winded explanation was all to say that I'm absolutely adore on-rail shooters. Whether it's pirates, or Terminators, or dinosaurs, if it's an arcade and it's on rails, you can almost always find me there. So you could say that I was excited to play this game. This game lived up to all that I wanted it to be. It's a super fun on-rails game, and I think the balance of the gameplay and enemies was super well done. I didn't want to put this game down, as I found myself clearing chapter after chapter. Beyond knowing that I'd like the genre, I was hesitant on how a franchise like Resident Evil would translate to the Wii. I've heard that the port of Resident Evil 4 is pretty solid, but the Wii was really only at its best running first-party Nintendo titles. However, I think the translation was expertly done. As many before me have said, the Wii's pointer controls work perfectly for the genre, and shooter games in general. I really wish I had the zapper, because although I'm aware it's just plastic, I definitely think that would have taken my experience to the next level, especially since they released a Resident Evil branded one with this game. Anyway, I really found that all of the controls were intuitive, and I especially liked the quirks, for lack of a better term, like how you could change the weapons using the joystick, or being able to flick the nunchuck to reload. I also loved the idea of making the pistol have infinite ammo. I think this was the right decision to balance the game so that the pace can stay consistent, and you can wait to use the specialty weapon on the bosses. I was personally playing on easy, so I'm not sure that the infinite ammo is present in the harder difficulties. I would assume not, but I'm happy it's here for my playthrough. This game is gorgeous. I know the Wii is capable, but sometimes I felt a lot of the third-party content never really knew how to work with it, especially when porting games from PlayStation or Xbox. But this game was perfectly translated, even looking comparable to other 7th gen games at the time, which is rare on the Wii for the more realistic looking games like this one. I'd be curious to see what this game looks like on the PS3 port. I will admit that I was a little meh about the story at first. The idea of the drug lord having the T-virus was sorta interesting, but I thought it was a tad generic. I did really enjoy being able to play through Resident Evil 2 again in the first person this time, but I almost wish they had taken more time to flesh out a more thorough story and didn't waste so much of the runtime retreading all of the plot points from previous games. I think the gameplay makes up for this, but I wish the story was there alongside it. But that's just personal opinion. I also enjoyed exploring all the extra stuff around the main game, like the character bios or the items you can collect, and especially the titles, which essentially acted as achievements in this game. I always appreciate when games have a ton to look at and explore outside of simply playing, and this game is no slouch. Out of all the games I've played so far, I think this may have been one of my favorites. I could have been biased of the genre, but I also found myself having the most amount of fun with the moment-to-moment here, as I have with any of the other games I've played so far. I'll definitely be revisiting this from time to time, and I'll have to track down its predecessor, The Umbrella Chronicles. What did you think of DARKSIDE Chronicles? Let me know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe while you're down there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.